Welcome to the Jamaica Customer Service Association 20th Annual Service Excellence Conference under the theme, The Power of Service Excellence, Building Trust in a Digital World. Stay plugged in, engaged, and embrace the power of service excellence, building trust in a digital world. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please help me to welcome our Service Excellence hostesses for 2023, Mrs. Althea Mackenzie and Miss Norma Williams.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Norma. Are you ready?
Althea, I'm so ready. By the way, you're looking beautiful this morning.
Oh, as are you, as are you.
How are you?
I am good. I'm good. I am blessed and highly favored and ready to run with day 2. Yesterday, Richard said, strap ourselves in and get ready for this flight. Well, we had one tour yesterday. We're going on another, and Norma, it is absolutely amazing. Before we get started, let me just do a little bit of a rundown of what happened yesterday. So we had a fantastic day, an absolutely amazing day of this, the 20th edition of the JAXA Digital Conference 2023. The theme, of course, the power of service excellence and building trust in a digital world. So yesterday, Norma, we learned about the importance of AI from Leslie Lee Fook, not in a frightening way. It was an infusion of energy that got us all excited about artificial intelligence. Our panel discussions, girl, those
wow, that was
off the chain. In the first, we heard from industry leaders how they're using digital platforms in the course of their daily activities to enhance customer experience. And boy, that's
amazing.
Panel discussion. That was amazing, Norma. And of course, in between that, we heard from Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett how the use of digital platforms is making it easier for us to get and retain visitors to our beautiful island. And then the day closed out with an awesome graduation exercise. I stayed for it from start to finish. It was absolutely fantastic. How was day 1 for you, Norma?
Day 1 was amazing for me. I loved the education panel. That was epic. I just really loved the conversations between the four sisters, they call themselves, you know, these powerhouses in the field of education. And they spoke about the importance of education as it related to customer service and building trust in this new digital world, this post-COVID environment that has allowed us to embrace the beauty of digital.
Now, and the thing about it, Norma, is that there's some people who are still very reluctant to embrace what is going on in terms of the use of the digital platform. But the fact is that it is with us. It is there for us to use to the best of our ability. It's not to abuse it, but it's to use it for the best of the ability. And I can see how the use of these platforms can enhance that customer experience and make it great. So I'm expecting that day 2 is going to be awesome. What do we have in the lineup for day 2?
You know, day 2 is going to be amazing because we have 2 amazing panel discussions coming up. We also have Senator, the Honorable Dr. Dana Morris Dixon. Now, she's a powerhouse, an amazing woman who is going to be taking us through a whole lot. You know what, though? Before we even go further, I would love for you to just give me a little minute here to big up the JAXA team for what they are doing. Awesome. Can you imagine a conference of this quality that is free? That is absolutely unheard of in the industry. By the way, happy Customer Service Week. Did I tell you that? I don't think I did. But
I don't think we told each other happy Customer Service Week because we were just so excited about what was going on yesterday.
Yes. But I really want to big up that team, the JAXA team, for really putting together this epic conference and allowing it to be free so it can go all through the world. Yesterday, we had people from as far away as Africa. We had people from all over the world logging in, plugging in, getting into the digital world in this virtual conference about service excellence and the beauty of serving others.
And that is just such an amazing experience when it is that you can engage so many different people from so many different walks of life, from so many different parts of the world. Norma, the other thing that we need to do before we jump into the sessions is to, of course, thank our sponsors. Now, today is the day that the Office of the Cabinet Public Sector Modernization Division, they're going to be doing a lot of work because we have 2 panel discussions that are coming up. So they are a major partner. They're a platinum partner. Also, platinum partner, the RGR Gleaner Communications Group. We have the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, JCDC, the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, Rhythm FM. We have CARICO, the training arm of JAXA. In the gold category, Tourism Enhancement Fund, TEF, the Jamaica Public Service Company Limited, National Commercial Bank, NCB. In the silver category, Administrator General's Department, the National Housing Trust, VM Group, Hart NSTA Trust. And in the bronze category, we have the JMMB Group, we have Guardian General Insurance Limited, we have Ashebra, the virtual restaurant, the National Health Fund, we have the Jamaican National, we have Grace Kennedy Limited, we have Bert's Auto Parts. And Norma, if I've left anyone out, you can catch me up and tell us exactly.
You did not. You did an amazing job listing them, Althea. And we have to give them that big up. We have to ask all of our attendees on the platform now to give them a follow, jump on their socials, follow them, support them, do business with them because they support us. They're the ones who have powered this amazing conference.
Absolutely. And of course, we know how things can get in terms of time. So we really have to get going. Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, we just want to welcome you to day 2 of this awesome conference. Yesterday was fantastic. Today is going to be equally fantastic. We have prizes, we have giveaways, we have surprises for you. But now to introduce the keynote speaker, let us invite Sharika Cheek Perkins. Sharika, good morning.
To give you the quality of service you deserve, and you deserve it. That's why service excellence is the aim. We take it serious, I don't care. If we have convenience, access to services when you are dealing with government entities. That's why I work on. We benefit businesses and Jamaicans, not just systems and services. Jamaica. Government and public sector, making the systems better to give you the quality and service you deserve. And you deserve it. That's why service excellence is the aim. We take it serious and not game. To pay off convenient access to services when you are dealing with government entities. That's why our work on. We benefit businesses and Jamaicans. Better systems and services for a better Jamaica. Government and public sector, making the systems better to give you the quality and service you deserve. And you deserve it. That's why service excellence is the aim. We take it serious and not game. To pay off convenient access to services when you are dealing with government entities. That's why our work on. We benefit businesses and Jamaicans. Better systems and services for a better Jamaica. Government and public sector, making the systems better to give you the quality and service you deserve. And you deserve it. That's why service excellence is the aim. We take it serious and not game. To pay off convenient access to services when you are dealing with government entities. That's why our work on. We benefit businesses and Jamaicans. Better systems and services for a better Jamaica. Government and public.
All right. What a fantastic jingle that highlights the work of the government services. And the fact is they have been working to improve their services. And this is a narrative of change that we all need to embrace, both in the public and private sector. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Sharika Cheek-Perkins. Sharika, good morning.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Customer Service Week to all. The biography of Senator Dr. the Honorable Donna Morris Dixon. Dr. Donna Morris Dixon, a dedicated and accomplished leader, currently serves as a senator and holds the esteemed position of the Minister without Portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister, with direct oversight for skills and digital transformation. With a stellar academic background, Dr. Dixon earned a Fulbright Scholarship in 2004, and she is an alumnus of the prestigious University of the West Indies, where she graduated with first-class honors in economics for her bachelor's degree and achieved a distinction in her master's degree in government. She further honed her expertise at the Joseph Corbell School of International Studies, where she attained a doctorate in international studies. And she later completed an executive program at the Harvard Business School. Dr. Dixon's impressive career includes a distinguished tenure as a senior executive within the Jamaica National Group. Notably, she served as a managing director of the JN General Insurance Limited, a pivotal subsidiary of the group. Her leadership has been instrumental in executing numerous large-scale strategic projects, such as the historic authorization of the First Caribbean Bank in the United Kingdom in 2020. Additionally, she played a pivotal role in the reorganization of the Jamaica National Group, leading to the establishment of the JN Bank and the new group structure in 2017. During her secondment from the Jamaica National Group to the Bank of Jamaica, Dr. Dixon successfully led the completion of the National Risk Assessment for Jamaica in 2021, a critical component of Jamaica's FATF action plan. Dr. Dixon has also served in the key roles of the public sector, contributing her expertise to the Office of the Prime Minister and JAMPRO. Commencing her career as an academician at the University of the West Indies, Dr. Dixon passionately taught various courses at both the undergrad and graduate levels. Her involvement and dedication to the Jamaica's Economy Project were instrumental in paving the way for the subsequent success of the Jamaica Research Institute. Dr. Dixon is a fervent advocate for the advancement of women in senior executive roles, on boards, and in politics. She has been a member of numerous boards and committees dedicated to this cause. Driven by her deep commitment to education, Dr. Dixon served on the Jamaica Education Transformation Commission, and she continues to contribute to educational initiatives as a member of the Archdiocese of Kingston Education Commission. She also proudly serves on the board of directors of the Campion College, her beloved alma mater. Dr. Dixon Morris. Dynamic leadership combined with her passion for education and gender equality makes her a truly inspirational figure in both the public and private sector. Her dedication to the advancement of Jamaica is indeed unwavering. In light of her remarkable contribution and leadership, we kindly request your warm participation and support in welcoming Senator Dr. the Honorable Donna Morris Dixon as she graciously addresses you, our esteemed audience. Thank you.
Good morning, esteemed colleagues, distinguished guests, members of the Jamaica Customer Service Association, and all joining us virtually for this groundbreaking conference. Firstly, I wish to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the association for inviting me to deliver the greetings at this remarkable event as we converge virtually for the 20th Annual Service Excellence Conference. I'm invigorated by the theme that resonates across our screens: the power of service excellence in building trust in a digital world. As we celebrate National Customer Service Week from October 1 to 7, we honor the strides our public sector entities and both civil and private organizations have made in setting the gold standard for service excellence in Jamaica. Service that's not just about resolving an issue or closing a deal, but about building lasting relationships. In my capacity as Minister without Portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister, with responsibility for skills and digital transformation, I am passionately devoted to ensuring that we are equipped with the right skills and the right mindset. Digital transformation is not just about technology. It's about people, their experiences, and how we can consistently elevate those experiences. Your theme is the power of service excellence in building trust in a digital world. In the age of digital acceleration, where convenience is often prioritized over connection, it is essential for us to remember that at the core of every transaction, every click, every service request, there is a human being seeking an authentic experience. Every transaction is a bond of trust. Trust that the service will be impeccable, trust that their data will be protected, and trust that they are not just another statistic, but a valued customer. All providers of goods and services must remember that the customer reigns in the store as well as online. The digital domain is still the realm of the customer. This pivotal movement and moment in our evolution demands that we adapt and innovate. This moment demands that we be digitally bold. Yet, it's also a call to maintain the timeless values that make service truly exceptional: empathy, responsiveness, and unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. The government of Jamaica recognizes and holds these values dear. Service excellence is partially why this portfolio exists and why I hold it. Digital transformation sounds abstract and far away from the lives of the Jamaican citizen. From some perspectives, it may seem that my role is to implement new technology, and that's it. No, technology is not an end in itself. It is a means to an end, and that end is the efficient delivery of government goods and services to our citizens. It is about service excellence. It is about respect. It is because we respect the people of Jamaica that we're working to cut down on the need to go from government office to government office, trying to get a simple service. It is because we respect the people that we will be using technology to deliver better social services. It is because we respect all Jamaicans that we are simplifying processes and allowing you to do more things at home or closer to home. Many won't recognize this transformation overnight. Many won't trust the government. Oh, he's going out. Okay, I have to stop. Many won't trust the government as a provider of goods and services. But like any institution, after consistently excellent delivery, the customer will come to expect and, yes, trust you to deliver going forward. This is so around the world and here in Jamaica. Jamaica, with its vibrant and diverse culture and pool of amazing ability, is poised to set an example for the world. We have always been trailblazers, and in this digital era, our potential is limitless. We can merge our unparalleled warmth and human touch with state-of-the-art digital tools to provide experiences that are not just efficient, but also deeply meaningful. To the many organizations and entities joining in celebrating National Customer Service Week, I challenge you to see this not just as a commemoration, but as a commitment to relentlessly pursue service excellence and to use the power of the digital to enhance, and our pledge to not only adapt to the new digital world, but to shape it with the integrity, passion, and the excellence that Jamaica is known for. Thank you, and may this conference give insights and spark innovations that will guide us into the future of service excellence. Thank you.
Well, that was amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, Minister without Portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister. We see why you're there, and we're very, very happy that you are there because we see that you're a woman of purpose and a woman who is forthright. We thank you very much for all of what you have told us. And I especially love the aspect of your speech where you spoke of the fact that respect and trust really are the reasons for the development of technology and the ways of doing things better. That all comes out of the respect that we have for people. The fact that digital transformation is always about people. It's not just a hairy-fairy concept or about machinery or technology. It is about people, because right behind all of that is a human being who longs for the human touch. So we never lose the human touch in our digital transformation, but we use the digital transformation to develop that trust between the machine and the human being, and just in terms of making things better for people. We thank you so much, and we still would like to give you our special, I know Althea said it, but we're going to say it again. We would like to thank you so much as well for being a part of this and powering our conference. And now, Althea, are you there? Are you ready to do your introduction here?
Absolutely ready. What a presentation from the Senator. And of course, it is really in line with all of the excitement that we have been having. So our next guest, our next presenter, is the Chief Technical Director in the Office of the Cabinet. And this means that this is one of the ladies who is at the forefront of the energy that is needed to ensure that we create good customer service experiences across government offices, because that is part of the work that the Cabinet Office is engaged in. She has a track record of ensuring that she's encouraging her team members to provide as much information as they can to make sure that there is transparency and there's a lot of excitement and that there's a lot of buzz in how it is that the various offices treat their customers and they start with the internal customers. So as Chief Technical Director, she authors, she guides, and of course provides the guidance that the team needs to ensure that they are providing the public with the information that is needed. But I need not say more because she's going to tell us all about the work that is being done, plus provide the webinar launch as well. Ladies and gentlemen, please help us welcome the Chief Technical Director in the Office of the Cabinet, Marjorie Johnson.
Hello, Ms. Johnson. Please remember to unmute.
Thank you for that, Altion. Senator Dr. the Honorable Dana Morris Dixon, Minister with our portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister, Dr. Ensombe Jaja and Mr. Richard Rowe, Chairman and Vice Chair, respectively, of the Jamaica Customer Service Association, President of JAXA, Mr. Timothy Cawley, Permanent Secretaries, leaders of Jamaica's public sector, my hardworking colleagues in the public sector, ladies and gentlemen, good morning all and happy Customer Service Week. Today, I am pleased to join with you, my colleagues in the public sector and other stakeholders for this conference under the theme, The Power of Service Excellence in Building Trust in a Digital World. As I listened to the different speakers yesterday and today to Senator Morris Dixon, the numerous opportunities are not lost on me. In this digital age, we find ourselves at a critical juncture where public sector modernization has never been more vital. The technological advances have revolutionized the way we meet, communicate, access information, and interact with government services. These advances present both opportunities and challenges that demand our attention and innovation as we endeavor to provide excellent services to our customers. Service excellence in the public sector represents our fundamental commitment to the citizens we serve. It is our commitment to delivering efficient, effective, and customer-centric services that encourage trust. The public sector, through various platforms, such as gov.gm, is creating user-friendly platforms that empower citizens to engage with government seamlessly. Our commitment to enhancing service delivery is unwavering, and it is incumbent upon us to adapt and innovate in response to these changing dynamics. We heard Dr. Morris. For this reason, I am extremely pleased to announce the public sector hybrid webinar, a series of conversations with public sector and with our stakeholders, and most importantly, our customers. These hybrid webinars will commence with today's conference, which will take place each Wednesday in different parishes and online throughout the month of October. We will bring together some of our best and most innovative government entities, sharing digital and other improvement initiatives that they have implemented in embracing the Service Excellence Program and the continued journey of public sector modernization. I invite you to join us as we exchange insights into best practices and hear from our customers. We believe that learning from one another is a key driver of success. And webinar provides the perfect forum. More than that, we are convinced that by embracing modernization and customer-centric principles, we can create a government that is not only efficient, but also responsive to the needs of our citizens. I encourage each one of you to actively participate in this webinar, ask questions, and engage in meaningful discussion. I must highlight the significant contribution of the Registrar General Department that has provided the facility for all our hybrid sessions, with this session at their head office in St. Catherine, next week in Sablamar, and on the 18th in Mandeville. We are happy for all our partners. And in closing, I would like to express my gratitude to all the speakers and participants from the Tax Administration, Hard Trust NSTA, the Management Institute for National Development, Ministries of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Legal and Constitutional Affairs, Health, and Finance and the Public Service, all of whom have agreed to make this webinar series, which starts with this forum today, a reality. Your commitment to this cause is commendable, and I have no doubt that together we will pave the way for a government that truly serves its customers. Together, let us continue wholeheartedly in this journey towards a more modern and customer-focused government. I thank you all and see you at the webinar.
Effective customer service is important in all government entities that provide services to the public. The most basic customer interaction can affect an organization's reputation and their customer relationships. Here are 7 elements of service excellence that will improve your service delivery. Timeliness and effectiveness. Service providers must provide prompt and accurate service in a timely manner. Effective communication. Appropriate channels should be provided to make information readily accessible and collect customer feedback. Proficiency and competency. Service providers must have the relevant technical expertise and customer service skills to satisfy the customer's needs. Responsiveness. Service providers must be quick to adapt and adopt changes to improve service to customers. Customer and people-centric. Service providers must identify and respond to the needs of their customers, whether through technological or environmental changes. Professionalism. The acceptable behaviors and attitudes that form the culture of the organization should include respect and courtesy to all customers. Service standards. Government-wide standards should be developed by the public sector and applied to each ministry, department, or agency for which the organization should be held accountable. All government entities should use the Service Excellence Policy to guide service delivery and establish a culture of service excellence in the public sector. To access the Service Excellence Policy, please visit the Public Sector Modernization Division's website today.
You know, in my own little research about the amazing Marjorie Johnson, the Chief Technical Director in the Cabinet Office, I realized that this is an individual who is steeped in the concept of service excellence and customer experience. As a vanguard of these philosophies, I'd like to thank you. I personally know that I will be sitting there at that webinar next to whenever you start. Just let me know which Wednesday is great. I'll be on it, because that is an amazing, amazing way to get the people of Jamaica into understand the importance of this thrust of modernization in the interaction between the people and their government. Thank you so much for all that you're doing, Madre Johnson, on behalf of a grateful nation. We are really, 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 really happy to know that finally we'll be moving away from the paper pushing ways to modernizing your processes, modernizing the way we do business with the government, modernizing the way we do things in terms of our taxes, in terms of even our gathering of information as to what's happening. And these webinars are going to be a massive hit. Thank you so much. And we really, really appreciate your time and just coming here to share with us. I'm feeling extremely, extremely generous. And right now, I'm ready to do a little giveaway. I'm going to do a giveaway. I know Althea is going to encourage me to do it. So I'm going to do a little giveaway. So you know what I'm going to do right now? And if you want me to do a giveaway, just type in the chat spin. Let me see some spin in the chat. Just type in the chat spin. Type in the chat spin. Type in the chat spin. Let me see spin. Type spin. If you want me to do something right now, just type in the chat spin. And as long as you type in the chat spin, I am going to be giving away. Let me see. Is there any spin? Oh, I'm seeing spin. Give me some more spins. Give me some more spins. I'm feeling generous. I'm feeling generous. Spin. Yes, yes. So we have the most amazing technical team here. And we have my new best friend who is a technical guru, Danny. Danny, they say spin. They said spin. They said spin. So, okay, they're telling me to spin. They're actually giving me spin 3 times. So let's spin. Let's spin. You know what I'm giving away here? I'm going to give away. Guess what I'm giving away? I'm going to give away one. Oh, there we go. We have a winner. We have a winner. Danny Facey. Danny Facey. Are you there, Danny? Danny Facey. Danny Facey. Let me see a comment from you, Danny, because you have won for yourself a 1-hour training session with Carry Code. And you know that Carry Code is a training arm of JAXA. And you know the service excellence that JAXA will train you to be able to give. Now, that is an amazing, amazing. Oh, somebody said spin again until Shawnette comes. You know what, Shawnette, you're amazing, but you didn't win this time. Danny won. Good morning, Shawnette. Good morning, Marco. Good morning, Carlene. Good morning, Shanice. Good morning, Natasha. Thank you so much. But this is our winner. Our winner is Danny. Danny Facey, you've won for yourself a 1-hour coaching session. Now, that is the most amazing prize. Thank you. You know, Althea, I think you are on right now.
I am, but that is a lot of excitement. And you see the reason we have to give stuff away. You see how excited they get about giveaways? Spin, 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 spin. Well, we want to tell you something. Stay with us, and you will win more giveaways.
Althea, I think we should tell them. We have tons of stuff to give away, but yes, if we say your name and you are not here, we're going to spin again. So you have to stay for the entire day to be able to win your prize.
And of course, encourage their friends and their colleagues to come on board and enjoy the day with us. So it is really very critical for us to encourage all of those who are gathered on the platform to stay with us, because it is important. That is how we are going to learn. We have 2 exciting panels that are coming up, and they are just going to be chock full of information that I don't want anyone to miss. So let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Get those notebooks out. Some of you are still notebook people. Let us acknowledge that. So get the notebooks out. You can get out your phones. You can get out whatever instrument you're going to use to record, because you are going to need it. And of course, the first of these two panels is going to take place, the panel discussion going to take place in just a minute. This one is creating service excellence while building trust in a digital world. And the moderator is Professor Lloyd Waller. In fact, Professor Waller is going to be leading the panels for the conversations that we have today. Professor Waller is the esteemed chair of the Digital Transformation Policy and Governance Unit at the University of the West Indies Mona campus. And for over a decade, he has been a prolific intellectual force, authoring over 100 scholarly articles, seminal books, cutting-edge research papers, and pivotal technical reports. His body of work covers disciplines such as digital transformation, tourism resilience, governance, policy management, advanced research methods, and data analytics. Now, in addition to this remarkable academic pedigree, Professor Waller holds the distinguished position of Executive Director at the Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management Center. He also serves as a senior advisor to the Tourism Minister for Jamaica as a pivotal bridge between policy and practice. Now, Professor Waller's influence extends beyond academia and policy circles. He is a highly sought after thought leader who sits on a number of national, regional, and international committees, boards, and commissions. And his contributions act as a lighthouse for navigating the complex intersections of technology, intersections, and socio-political resilience. Ladies and gentlemen, after such an introduction, you know we're going to have a fantastic time with Professor Lloyd Waller and the team. He will do the introductions for the panelists for this morning: Sophia Wellington, Lieutenant Colonel Godfrey Sterling, and Miss Andre Holness. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Professor Lloyd Waller.
Hi, good morning, everyone, and thank you for having me. Good morning, my colleagues in the civil service, my esteemed colleagues in the civil service. We're all in it together, and we're all in it to make Jamaica a better place. COVID-19 has changed the world forever in areas of social, economic, and political life. But one of the things that have been significantly affected worldwide is the civil service, a body which generally comprises of permanent professionals in the branches of government, and in Jamaica, GOJ. Service excellence, or service quality, is one of the mandates of the civil service, and one which the GOJ strives towards. More importantly, though, service excellence can be said to represent a normally overlooked but extraordinarily important aspect of governance. And we're talking about efficient service, effective service, transparent service, responsive service, accountable service, all aspects of what constitutes the term governance. And achieving service excellence is a litmus test of the presence, absence, or the level of maturity of a nation as it relates to their ability to be a democratic governance state. Today, we examine the concept of service excellence in the context of COVID-19 and look at how COVID-19 has accelerated the digital world. Of concern here are issues of creating service excellence while building trust in the digital world. And today we examine these issues, share our experiences, and build awareness about creating service excellence here in Jamaica, or continue to build upon that particular platform that we have started. And we have with us here three luminaries whose knowledge of these areas are well known. And today they'll provide us with some insights while they address the subject matter at hand. We have Miss Sophia Wellington. We also have Lieutenant Godfrey Sterling, which I think is unavoidably absent. So we may just have two persons today, so we're just going to have Miss Andre Holness and Miss Stephanie Wellington. So let's start with you, Miss Wellington. You're first on the list. So Stephanie Wellington is the acting principal director in the Information Division of the Office of the Prime Minister, a role she returned to after an initial 15-year stint. With over 20 years of policy development and implementation, she served as the Director of Industry at the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture, and Fisheries. Her area of expertise with regard to service excellence expands over many areas of the public service, and her knowledge of ICT and development is also well articulated and well documented in the many different spaces and places that she has worked in the last 20 years. Ms. Wellington, over to you. You have 10 minutes to present, sorry.
Okay, morning everybody, and thank you for having me in this conference. And I want to applaud the Cabinet Office and of course the team from the Jamaica Customer Service Association for engaging us in this way. So I wanted to talk a little bit here about the steps we are taking in terms of the government service and how we plan to digitize our offerings to allow for better service to be delivered to the citizens, the citizenry. We have used over the years an approach that tries to position the government of Jamaica in a way that it not only holds the information that it has, but is able to share that information in a seamless manner when called upon to do so. So today we're looking at, and just because I usually have a little confusion in my mind, and I'm sure it happens to others of us, about digitization versus digitalization, we'll just look at that briefly, and then I'll go through some steps about preparing for digital service delivery. And of course, being someone committed to business and industries in general, I will touch on the digital industries. So digitization versus digitalization. It's important to note that when we digitize, it's really transforming our analog data into a format, a digital format. And that positions us now to further digitalize, where we're looking at our processes and how we actually develop services and are able to deliver services using this digital content. So digitization, moving data to digital format, digitalization, improving your business processes. And all of that adds together to give you digital transformation. And that's a goal that we are all committed to. Secondly, I want to look at preparing ourselves for digital service delivery. And we'll touch on records management and information management here. We'll look at access to information, because the reason we're collecting all of these data, the reason we house some of these data, is also to allow our citizens to be able to access services and access information from the government of Jamaica. And then we want to touch on in a little bit the data collection and information sharing component of this framework. So in terms of Jamaica's journey for records and information management, we have a GOJ RIM policy, which was approved in 2018, and this will seek to standardize the management of official records. This policy puts in place a governance framework, which includes a RIM policy oversight committee. And this committee is actually chaired by the permanent secretary of the Office of the Prime Minister, and includes significant parties and partners across the government service who we would want to tap into their expertise to ensure that this policy framework is implemented in the way it is envisioned. Supporting this policy committee are 6 subcommittees, which are broken out into key results areas: modernizing the policy framework and regulatory framework for RIM, organizational structure development and human resource around RIM, JARD modification, JARD being our Jamaica Archives and Records Department, implementation of RIM systems, capacitation of key stakeholders, and we've linked key result area 2 and 5 together because of the synergy between those two. And then finally, we're looking at digitization of government records. So I'll just break down some of the outcomes of the policy we are seeing. And in the broad sense, we're looking at accessible, efficient, and effective service delivery, increased transparency and accountability, and then preservation of our national identity. And these break out into, in terms of accessible and efficient service delivery, We, of course, are looking at what are our customers demanding, what are we delivering to our customers. We are looking at facilitating data sharing also across MDAs, which in the past has proven to be a cumbersome process that we are seeking to develop a system around. Supporting ease of doing business. Again, if we want to make our national development goals work, we are attracting investment, we are supporting businesses, and we're making it easier for businesses to choose Jamaica as the hub to come up and set up and do business. Transparency. In order to drive the transparency process, we are looking at not only records creation, but along the continuum of from creation to disposal of records, ensuring that we are instituting international best practices to be able to guide how we collect data, store that data, maintain that data, and again, share that data when called upon to do so. Preservation of our national identity. As you know, we have numerous artifacts that make Jamaica Jamaica. We also have records that date back to how we have been governing ourselves over the 60 something years of our independence. And therefore, it is important that we preserve those records and make them available for the future generations of Jamaicans to access. Our RIM system implementation has seen about 58 public sector entities coming on stream and starting the process of the transformation of their records and information management program. 8 of those entities are at that stage of electronic records and information management. And here, while we are not stipulating a particular e-RIM solution, what the things that we hold there are, it must be allow you to access that data. It's secure. It must come with some level of redundancy so that if there's a disaster, then we are able to recover that information. It must be inoperable. So you would have one MDA using one platform, another MDA using another platform. Those solutions be able to speak to each other. And one of the things that underpins all of this, it must be authentic. And the theme here today is that we're building trust in this digital world. And we are seeking to find a way to ensure that the government of Jamaica's information can be identified as such, can be trusted as such. And that is one of the main goals of our RIM implementation framework. To support the records and information management, we are looking at a project proposal, a project framework around digital migration of the records. And that would involve migrating records from that analog format into digital format. It will also see improved access to information and resource efficiency. And the overall objective is to digitize current official records across the public sector. We also, and this too will support our access to information push. So for some years now, we have been in a modality of access to information, and being able to call upon our documentation to be able to serve our customers in terms of access to information requests is one of the areas that all of this records management will support over the time. I would also, we spoke about our data collection and information sharing across government, and we have some key pillars there which are underpinned by security, privacy, and confidentiality. And just to touch on the nexus between digitalization, operating in this digital world, it's going to transform into our electronic media sector as well. So you would know by now that the government is focused on digital television switchover, settling an electronic media and content regulation framework that is modern and that will take us into the future of electronic media. And of course, one of the things we cannot forget is the need for digital literacy to be infused across all of the categories of our people. So I think on that note, I will leave it there and we can have a further discussion.
Thank you very much. Quite interesting. I heard access, I heard responsiveness, I heard modernization, I heard perhaps all of the different elements of what constitutes governance, which is what we're striving towards. Any aspect of the civil service must must recognize and appreciate the importance of good governance as a mechanism towards and striving towards development. And certainly digital technologies have now been recognized as tools that can facilitate that particular outcome. And everything that you just articulated here, actually, and trying to bridge the gap between theory and practice here, actually represents what the purpose of digital technologies, one of the purposes of digital technologies, to transform and modernize humanity. Thank you very much. We now have, I don't think Lieutenant is here, so we now have Miss Andre Holness, Director of Complaint Resolution and Compliance Officer of the Information. Ms. Holness is the Director of Complaint Resolution and Compliance at the Office of the Information Commissioner in Jamaica. She oversees complaints, investigations, and data protection law compliance. Ms. Holness articulates that she believes in service excellence, and for her it's a combination of practices and performance. Ms. Holness, where is yours?
Good morning, everyone, and happy National Customer Service Week to us all. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's my pleasure to join you this morning to share with you what the Office of the Information Commissioner envisions to contribute to creating service excellence while building trust in a digital world. So this morning, I'll take you through the service excellence in the public service, building trust as we see it from a government perspective, and how the Data Protection Act and persons complying with the provisions of the Act will engender trust and service excellence. As all Jamaicans know, we have Vision 2030 Jamaica, which is Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. And the government, in furthering that commitment, has committed to delivering service excellence across all public service entities, such that there should be shared standards, irrespective of which government entity is delivering the service. This is also echoing to the Data Protection Act, which preserves that 8 data protection standards ought to be applied each time any citizen or other person in our shores within our jurisdiction accesses services that requires the sharing of personal data and sensitive personal data. Service excellence in the public service, as well as our concept of digital transformation, rests in engaging people and delivering performance excellence, such that whatever services are accessed anywhere in the public sector, it's citizen-centered, customer-focused, there is integrity and transparency throughout the transaction, respect for human rights are preserved, and there's accountability and committed leadership driving that accountability to the public, both the internal publics and the external publics. The Data Protection Act also asks that there's fairness in how data is processed, and so the standards echo these values on which our service excellence policy is based. Digital transformation in the public service ultimately has 4 main goals in view. And those are respect, efficiency, inclusion, and trust, such that every person accessing services from the government is treated with respect, and that respect is reflected in how we see your time being used so that you get through quickly. We're in partnership with you to deliver the services that meets your needs and satisfy the urgent things from your perspective. and that you have the same level of service excellence in every location. Senator Morris Dixon this morning mentioned that we wish to have our citizens have, as far as possible, services in one location where everything can be accessed for your convenience. All of this will be built with efficiency, inclusion, so that no person is left behind and each person has the same access to the same service in the same way that the Data Protection Act applies equally to all data controllers. And data controllers are the persons who process the personal and sensitive data of data subjects, who are the persons who own the information. And in so doing, it is hoped that we will engender and enhance trust in the technology, trust that your information, when collected by any agency of government, will be properly secure, safe, and that we as the regulator at the Office of the Information Commissioner has a robust regime in place to ensure that complaints, any breaches or contravention of the Act are dealt with promptly and with transparency. So, in short, the Data Protection Act, service excellence, and building trust in a digital world coalesce around a regime that protects the privacy of data subjects, safeguards personal and sensitive data, and enables trust. If you'll allow me a few minutes to just walk you through the Act itself. So the Data Protection Act speaks to certain data and connected matters, such as the rights of data subjects, the protection standards, the optimization and obligations of the role of data controllers, inclusive of having data protection officers and teams in place to handle any incidents. Incidents may just be something that has happened that was not envisioned to happen while processing your data and does not necessarily constitute a breach or contravention of the Act. However, should that occur, please be advised that the Office of the Information Commissioner will certainly use every provision in the Act to ensure that the appropriate penalties and for offenses committed are actually applied. And just so that you know, there are custodial penalties ranging from 2 to 10 years provided in the Act for individual directors of entities in the event of an offense rising to the level of criminal prosecution, as well as the entity itself may be required to be fined up to 4% of their annual gross worldwide earnings. So I've been talking about data subjects, data controllers, data protection officers, my own office, and this is in essence how the key stakeholders outlined in the Act for Data Protection Regime in Jamaica. As the regulatory authority, the Information Commissioner's Office will provide guidance and regulate compliance, particularly where data controllers are concerned. And we report to the Houses of Parliament and or Data Protection Oversight Committee per the provisions of the Act. Key stakeholders, the data subject, you and I who own the information, it's our information that's been shared and processed. And process means handling, collecting. It's a wide definition. But once you have shared your information, even if it's as simple as having your photograph taken outside of the tax office, you're actually sharing data with the photographer, who is, that case will be the data controller. And it's your right to ensure that having received your photograph, it's completely deleted and removed from the system. But we'll come to that in a minute. The data controller are any person, and person it means not just natural persons, but organizations, public authorities who has to process information. Just this morning in the news, we understood that the IMF made a comment to the effect that how some of our social programs are being rolled out would be greatly enhanced if we had a centralized repository of information where we could have analysis done in real time of the beneficiaries and what different services they should be able to access under those programs to improve efficiency and effectiveness of those social development programs, and thereby offering greater service excellence to our citizens. A data protection officer may be required to be retained by a data controller, depending on the type of processing that's done and whether or not you're a public authority. All public authorities must have a data protection officer. A data processor is someone the data controller may ask to process data. However, the data controller's responsibility is to ensure that the data processor adheres to their policy regarding how and why the information is processed, and that they are ultimately responsible for any third-party sharing and third-party processing. So persons who are data controllers, the buck stops with you, even though you may have a data protection officer who will have certain regulatory and compliance oversight for your operations. And we recognize that private persons, public bodies, private organizations are covered under the Act. It applies to everyone who processes personal and sensitive data, subject to certain exceptions and exemptions made in the Act. And we also recognize that there will be international partners, as data privacy is something that is globally accepted as one of the standards which will enhance doing business overseas. As I mentioned, we are the regulator, the Office of the Information Commissioner, and we believe that your data, your rights must be protected. And in essence, our role primarily is to safeguard the personal data privacy rights of all citizens guaranteed in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, as well as guaranteed in the Act. There are 8 data protection standards such that each processing must happen with fairness and lawfulness, such that there is consent where consent is required, and that the processing of the data is absolutely necessary for the transaction involved. The transaction the sharing of the data or the processing of the data is limited to the purpose which must be known to the data subject prior to having the data shared. And furthermore, the data that's collected from the data subjects, we must be frugal with it such that data is minimized, that only data required for the purpose, as stated in your purpose statement to the data subject, is actually affirmed. The data must be kept accurate and up to date, and where it is stored, it must be disposed of in keeping with legislatory provisions and internal policies for retention. The data subject rights, which we'll do in a minute, must also be considered at every process of data processing by a data controller. And in so doing, the appropriate technical and organizational measures must be implemented to preserve the safety of and security of any data shared. And lastly, where we recognize that there are instances where there will be cross-border transfer, and the Act makes provisions for those to happen within a particular context, such that any state or territory outside of Jamaica, which is going to be receiving data of our citizens and other persons within our jurisdiction, must also have a similar robust system for data privacy and protection. The rights of data subjects, that they must be informed, they have the right to access their information, they have the right to object to processing even after the processing has started, they have the right to rectification of inaccuracies so that their information is kept up to date, and they have the right to restrict processing as well. They have the right to request the transfer that you hold from one entity to another data controller. They have the right to consent to direct marketing. They have the right to ensure that decisions made about their livelihood or with respect to their transactions with you are not done solely on the basis of automated decision taking. And of course, they have the rights to complaints and to compensation, should the compensation rise to the level that requires being taken to courts. Please be reminded that every data subject has the recourse to our legal system for compensation should there be damage or distress incurred. Now, under the Data Protection Act, the first major act of compliance that all data controllers are expected to do happens on starting December 1, which is to register with our office. Where necessary, that registration will involve sharing with us your appointed data protection officer, should you be a data controller who has to have a data protection officer. Again, all public entities and authorities must have a data protection officer. Having made registration and completed successfully in December of this year, by March 31st of next year, we expect to receive an annual data protection impact assessment report in keeping with the provisions of the Act, stating how, why, and what has happened since registration and what it is that you intend to do going forward. Lastly, in preparation for registration, the Act contemplated a 2-year transitional period, which started December 1, 2021 and will end November 30, 2023 for its full implementation. During that time, it was hoped that data controllers have been preparing and have actually at closer to the point of being fully ready to register on December 1 of this year. And in so doing, it means that you would have had a chance to look at how data is used and processed in your organization to come into compliance with the 8 data standards and respecting the 8 or so rights or more rights of the data subjects. In doing this, you would understand and have to recognize that how we have been processing data and how we see data in business in Jamaica has to change from you collecting everything possible, and then at your leisure, the organization, the data controller, would then sift through the data. What the Data Protection Act is now saying is that the data subject must be fully aware of what is required, why it is required that their data is shared, how their data will be treated before it even enters your organization as a data controller. So, building service excellence and trust in a digital world and the data protection regime that we'll be implementing turns on mitigating risk, and the major aspect of mitigating the risk with respect to data privacy and protection is to ensure that your processes are inherently built to adhere to the data protection standards and uphold the rights of data subjects. And lastly, yes, in yesterday's seminars, it was interesting to find that our recommendations for each data controller centered around communication, ensuring that you communicate what you're doing to ensure that transparency and accountability are reinforced in every step that you take, to secure data and honor the rights of the data subjects, to ensure that your data processors comply with your privacy and protection policies that you as a data controller holds to, and that you offer and maintain a seamless, secure, and reliable digital experience for your data subjects who must connect with your business to do their transactions. By so doing, it is envisioned that you will put, as our Senator mentioned this morning, connection above convenience. Because after all, data transformation is not about technology. It's about people in leadership, governance, how we engage, how we change, how we see data and the privacy rights of every individual, including my own self here, such that we translate our shared vision for a digital economy within a technologically enabled society, which has internationally competitive industry structures, thereby realizing national goal. Jamaica's economy is prosperous and ultimately our Vision 2030 for the country. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Ms. Holness, for your very insightful and thorough technical and strategic presentation. I was particularly delighted that you were able to break down the components of the Data Protection Act, which will become a very big issue in the next couple of years. And thank you very much, ladies, for the excellent presentation. If I were to summarize our presentations using one word, data. It is the epicenter of everything that we're talking about today, to be quite frank. And it cuts across both. It's a theme that cuts across both presentations. And then just for the audience, data essentially refers to unprocessed facts and figures, and it becomes information once you can start to put it out and organize it and interpret it. And my questions that I'm going to be throwing out, I'm just going to throw out 3 questions, and anyone can respond to them. And the questions are inspired by the concept of data, because data, service excellence, and is excellence in the delivery of service. And for the most part, the service that we're delivering is data. And Hollywood has done a fantastic job in influencing our risk perception about how we engage with the digital world, and in particular data. But culture is a more fundamental variable in regulating how and in what way people interact with these technologies. And generally speaking, trust is a fundamental part of an individual's willingness to share their personal information, and it is usually predicated on the belief that their privacy will be respected and their data will be securely protected. And in a survey that myself and a couple of colleagues did most recently, we found an over 80%, an overwhelming number of Jamaicans were more willing to provide foreign entities access to their data than to provide the government with their data, because there were issues of trust, specifically with regard to the government's ability to secure their data. And there was also a concern about who would have access to data. We live in a small island developing state. And, these are real concerns that we have to deal with. I think the first question I wanted to ask is, how do we build trust generally, and specifically, how do we build trust in digital systems for service excellence in government? And I'm just throwing out to both. Anyone can respond to the question.
Okay, so I'm gonna speak.
Oh, hold on. All right, let Miss Wellington go first, and then Miss Holness, you can. I see the enthusiasm to respond to the question, which is absolutely fantastic. Go ahead, Miss Wellington.
All right. So how we build trust, certainly from where I sit, it is that person should be able to trust that when I share my information with you, when I share my data with you, it will be held in a secure manner. A part of what we're trying to do with our records management program is to infuse into it standardized approaches, a mechanism for storage, a mechanism for maintenance, a mechanism that would allow you to share. So remember, even though we're in an access to information framework, it's not all of government information that you can get access to. There are certain exemptions, national security for one, person's private information for another. So I think we have to build into the building of trust a communication framework that would allow persons to make that decision, right? So we need to be communicating a little more with persons to say, this is what happens when you give me your data. And then from that, hopefully the trust will be built up and persons will be able to engage digitally.
Thank you very much, Miss Holness.
I agree heartily with Mr. Wellington's comments. From where we sit as a regulator, trust has to do with consistency, communication, and transparency. So that by being consistent with your practice, being consistent with complying with the provisions of the Act in particular, when you're handling personal and sensitive data, consistently communicating what the expectations are, and being visible and speaking with one voice when there is an issue, so that persons are not getting multiple messages. What you're communicating is clear at all times, so that it builds a reasonable expectation for all parties involved. so that they know that, okay, there is a breach. Because let us face it, up to last week, Friday, there was a report on BBC of imposter fraud being perpetrated by artificial intelligence, where parents were being called to hear that their children were kidnapped. And the children don't even have phones. So we're not only concerned about human intervention, but the very artificial intelligence, which we will rely on to give us real-time results in how we do whatever it is that we do, whatever service we provide, is also something that we are not able to control. So while we have systems in place and we can communicate how those systems will work, we also must accept that it's not infallible and there will be breakdowns. When that happens, people must reasonably know what to expect in terms of resolving the issues. For example, the appropriate notices would have to be sent to data subjects affected should there be a breach, in addition to sending it to our office. And you would have to keep regular communication about the progress of the investigation. For example, recently we had FSC communicating on just such an instance, and it was very clear that there was work being done quickly, promptly, and that their communication was consistent and reinforced that whatever is being done quickly to contain the breach. And it is in those actions and consistent communication that allows persons to have reasonable expectations and to think that you are transparent and accountable because you've not hidden anything. So we don't encourage persons to hide from negative feedback on your digital platforms. Deal with it, address it, resolve it. So in being consistent, in communicating, in ensuring that you comply with the many legal requirements that are often required to do business, and communicating that to your data subjects, ensuring that when persons ask for their information to be deleted, it's deleted in the cloud backup off-site, outside of our jurisdiction, and it is assured that the information has been removed. The service excellence also speaks about timeliness. We saw the video earlier where the elements of service excellence are timeliness and effectiveness, effective communication, service standards, professionalism, proficiency and competency, customer and people centricity, and responsiveness. All of these taken together, and of course, complying with the Data Protection Act, when you're processing personal and sensitive personal data, even when there are exemptions under the Act, are going to build trust because you're delivering consistent, accountable, transparent actions to all your publics. Additionally, I just wanted to point out, because I didn't go into the exemptions under the Act, the exemptions from disclosure or from requiring consent does not exclude data controllers in full. It's usually tied to particular action and or particular standards. So even the exemptions is not foolproof, it's not comprehensive, it's very specific. And so I wish for everyone here to understand that you still are required to comply with the standards for processes that are not explicitly stated in the Act and related to specific standards that the Act provides that exemption for.
Thank you very much. I have a specific question for you, Miss Wellington. Today we have what is called the ultimate networked government, where information or data specifically and service excellence is dependent on the efficiency level of the government. And when I'm using efficiency now in the context of how data is moved from one place to the other, and how data is shared between and among government agencies. And interoperability is usually a challenge in many countries. Some agencies have legacy technologies. Some agencies have some more recent technologies. Unfortunately, they don't speak to each other, and the systems don't work as well as they do. Are we facing those challenges still here in Jamaica, A and B? What's being done to create a kind of seamless mechanism to facilitate a more efficient government, which is a part of service excellence?
Okay, so you're absolutely right. We are still facing not only a challenge with different types of technological solutions being able to carry the information, but you would appreciate that certain ministries, departments, and agencies are at different levels of technology adoption to facilitate that kind of service delivery. And that's for that reason we have actually recently introduced into this records and information management program a sixth key result area, which is the digitization of government records. And that will look at a project that would drive the transformation of the digitization of paper records, and then move into the technology solutions that may be recommended along those lines. I know there have been some conversations with a particular provider already, and a project is expected to come on stream very soon to look at how we can actually make this happen. And that work stream dealing with the digitization of government records will have the full mantle of building out that phase a little more.
Okay, thank you very much. Ms. Holness, the earlier you spoke a lot about data and the data protection. And there is a philosophy that, I'm hearing an echo, by the way, sorry. There is a philosophy that the best solution for one protecting your data is their level of awareness about the different mechanisms and activities that persons would use to be able to breach the data, or for themselves to be able to put themselves in a position to leak the information themselves. Like, for example, getting an email saying that you got a job in Dubai without applying for it, and you immediately click on it. You know, you're giving someone access to your data, backdoor entry in some instances. It's even more problematic in government when you have government agents who themselves are unaware of the different mechanisms that hackers or even mischievous persons may use to access government spaces and data. Do we have an awareness building campaign in government and by government to try to build confidence in people's ability to be able to engage these technologies by building out their awareness?
Thank you for that question, Professor Waller. That is a very profound and question that you've asked me, and I'll answer it this way. Data privacy and data security are complementary, but they're not the same. So every citizen has to recognize that they're a data subject themselves, and that their own action can also lead to the compromising of their data, which has to do with more cybersecurity concerns than actually a breach of privacy, because it's your information. You are the one that may have perhaps triggered this breach, which is different from what we would be doing at the Office of the Information Commissioner. In terms of communicating, we do intend, because December 1 is just a few weeks away, to have a public education campaign, and you'll hear a lot more about our office and what's required for registration coming up. However, one of the things that I'm certainly passionate about is for persons to recognize their own role, which is, I think, the question that you're asking. It's your information, which is why I use a very simple example of persons lining up outside the tax office, forgot to take their photo to renew their driver's license. Here's a photographer outside offering that service. And you may take the photograph, leave without asking, have you deleted my photograph from your system? And you need to be, the photographer now needs to demonstrate that he's deleted it. It's not retained because your transaction is now complete. And not just deleting it from the camera, because we all know that there are cloud backups that happen almost instantaneously when we take photos and so on. So it means that they'd have to go to that backup as well. Now, it's a very simple example, but I'm sure you can understand. The person willingly shared their identity, meaning it's actually their photograph. I mean, nothing is more identifying than that. but because the emphasis is on convenience, that the person is there on spot and I'm outside, they may not be aware that they have a responsibility in that transaction to demand and enforce their right to maintain their privacy now that the transaction has been completed. And it is that sensitivity that we need to ask persons to do. And we also need to be aware that you're questioning the sharing of your data or asking for the privacy policy or asking questions about how your data is treated should not preclude you receiving services, because that is also another aspect. So every individual, whether a citizen or not, but within our jurisdiction, must be fully cognizant of the fact that they own their personal and sensitive personal data. They have a role in preserving the integrity of that data by their actions and by ensuring that they enforce their rights with the entities, the persons, public entities that they have to deal with, and keep abreast of what is happening in the digital world, because I cannot fathom my child calling to say, I've been kidnapped, and it's really AI. It sounds like my child, and my child doesn't have a cell number, but he's saying it's my cell number and demanding a ransom. I could not imagine what that would be like. So it's not just humans that we have to be aware of that security can be breached, but the technology that we're using to enable digital transformation. So our own belief and how we see technology also has to be evolved. So there's quite a bit of behavioral and cultural mindset which will accompany a successful building of trust in a digital world.
Thank you very much. We have some
Professor
questions
Waller,
from
could I redirect on that?
Go
Just
ahead.
to also indicate, I'm supporting Ms. Holness's point about personal responsibility as well. And I want to go back to something I mentioned and probably didn't get a chance to build out. It is digital literacy. And digital literacy is that tool that's going to put you in a position of the know. Knowing what you can share, knowing how it's treated when you do share it, knowing what you can share and how you can make better decisions around that. So more to come in this space. Remember, we are on this digital journey, and therefore I expect that this communication program will, in fact, get off the ground and will be done.
No, and I'm very happy that we have a communication program, because at the end of the day, it really boils down to that. You know, the industry concern now is the rate with which the technologies themselves are able to penetrate the systems, how vulnerable systems are, using AI to breach other systems. And every day there is an attempt to do so. There are patches that need to be sent out, but in between the fix and the act, you know, there are some persons who unfortunately are impacted by the breach, and their data becomes vulnerable. And we have some questions from the audience here, and I'll just throw them out generally. From, let's see now, so many questions from Trina Richards. What types of data falls under the Data Protection Act? Would it be dependent on the level of, the level or the amount of data that is stored on in your organization, or rather the role of the data controller and or data protection officer? How would an organization know if they are in compliance and report on their compliance? So we have these questions. I'm just throwing them out. Anyone wants to respond? Ms. Holness, it looks like since you took up the data protection baton, it would appear that this one has not been thrown on you. But I promise you, Ms. Weddington, the next one will be you. So you won't feel left out.
All right, so let's break it down. Yes, I'm not hearing me?
Yeah, we're hearing you now, yes.
Hearing me now? Okay,
yes.
Great. So, okay, let me try to take them. So let's deal with the types of data first. And then I may ask you to refresh me of the rest of it, but let's be clear about the types of data. So personal data, as defined in the Act, refers to any data that can be used to identify you, the individual. So it covers biometrics, so your photograph is my go-to example, and other instances, your name, your address, your IP address, your TRN, those are the generic personal data. But then you have some data which are deemed to be sensitive personal data. And that the access has to do with anything related to genetic or biometric data, to anything related to race or ethnicity, your political opinions, your philosophical beliefs, your religious beliefs, and beliefs of a similar nature, membership in a trade union, physical or mental health or condition, anything related to your sex life, and anything related to any alleged commission of offenses by the data subject or any proceedings in court. I started my presentation by highlighting that the Data Protection Act is actually coinciding and affirming the rights granted under our Charter of Rights and Freedoms, particularly to privacy. Now, I'm sure it's easy to understand why anything related to your health, physical or mental, would automatically be sensitive personal data. The other part of the question is how is the data to be processed? Am I correct?
Yes. Yes, you're correct.
So yes, any entity processing sensitive personal data is required to have a data controller. I think they're a data protection officer. My apologies. And I think part of the question was also about
how would
the length and breadth. Right. Okay, so there is a concept across in the data protection sector of what we refer to as large-scale processors. What I'm actually doing is going through right now all the entities who would be required to retain a data protection officer, because let's just start from there, because I think that will assist us in understanding how this compliance business will actually work from an organization point of view. So if you're, a public authority, so every agency of government will have to appoint a data protection officer, and that data protection officer's information and credentials will have to be submitted in registration from December 1 onwards. Large-scale processors, those are persons who, and large scale here is not fully defined as a legal process in our act, but if we look at the general data protection regulations emanating from the UK, certain considerations, so the number of persons that you may actually be, in terms of just the number of data subjects. And then you may have a large number of data subjects, and large is relative. But in addition to looking at the numbers of data subjects, what areas of personal data do you actually collect? How wide is that? And is the collection done by your entity across a geographical area or within one geographical area? So from our office, because in the data protection community, large scale has deliberately been somewhat undefined, and on a case-by-case basis, we would assess to say whether or not during registration you may submit your information. We assess here and we see, okay, based on what you have submitted, you would require a data protection officer. So this is one area in terms of large-scale data processing that our office would provide a lot of guidance and support to data controllers, particularly starting from registration. The other bit that will allow you to know whether or not you require a data protection officer is by notice issued by our commissioner. So I think I've covered the business of how is personal data defined per the Act, how an organization will know whether or not they require a data protection officer. And now we're going to look at how persons, and when I say persons, I'm using a legal meaning, so not just mean natural individuals, but also corporations, entities, churches, and even other entities that don't seem apparent immediately to have the need for registration. So if you have, I'm just going to use some examples. So if you are operating your, what we call it now, a little shop, you have 100 persons, you have their telephone numbers because they call in and say, place an order. You have their address to deliver those orders to. You're processing people's personal data, and therefore you need to be registered. It could be 20 persons, but you have so much information on those 20 persons that you may be required to register as a data controller come December 1. Between now today and November 30, we will certainly be putting our communication to help clarify these areas. But for my basic guidance to everyone, because we are not leaving out our micro, small, or medium enterprise operators at all, or other practitioners who may be even sole practitioners. It depends on the data. And there's to be no confusion about the act exempting anyone because of the size of your operation. Because I think some persons have not connected that even though I have my information stored in my phone or in a notebook, does that make me a data controller? Yes, it does, depending on the numbers of persons you have the information on and the diversity of the data itself that you collect. I hope I've answered your questions.
Yes, you did. And we have one last question from Mr. Nyan Whittingham. Transforming to a digital society is a revolutionary change. What plans are there for GOJ to engender this change through change management framework that is needed for people to evolve into digital clients? Ms. Wellington, well, I promised you one, so this is yours.
And what a one it is. I would say that various limbs include communication. We at OPM, there is a push to create this government communication kind of network, and that network would be one of those change actors in terms of what is communicated to the public as we move into this digital transformation and creating that digital society. We don't expect this to happen overnight. It could not happen overnight in the first instance because cultural change does take a little time. But we are taking incremental steps as we go along. Certainly to develop and implement a change management program is something that we have considered and would probably need to look at so that we're able to catch all of the persons at the various points that they're at. I think I saw a question around how would pensioners be treated in this digital society that we're talking about. And certainly it would be to have programs wherein wherever you are in this digital ethos, you have a facility that will move you up the continuum, move you into various areas to get you to that point of digital society. And I'm sure the minister without portfolio with responsibility for digitization is looking at that in particular, because we are about people. The whole government exists to serve the people of Jamaica, and I'm sure that this is going to be one of the areas that you will hear more from us on. I would say that to the public. I'll say that not only to us as public sector workers, but to the members of the public as well. We have to come to that point wherein communication and change management is a constant part of how it is we do what we do, because culture does take a little time to change.
All right, thank you very much. And of course, we have many other questions, and we wish we could have all taken all of these questions. But the good thing is that you know where to find both Miss Holness as well as Miss Wellington, and you can direct your questions to them. As a matter of fact, as far as I'm concerned, I think from this event, there should be a little informal meet greet for the GOJ workers, the civil servants, to talk about these issues. And so we've come to an end. So Ms. Wellington and Ms. Holness, thank you very much for the wealth of knowledge that you have departed. And thank you very much for providing some clarity as it relates to many of the different aspects of looking at service quality in the context of the digital world and issues of trust. And I leave with one word of wisdom from a quote from a book on digital transformation that I'm currently writing. You know, technology like magic is neither good nor bad. It's the people and how they use it. Have a good day, everyone. Take care.
All right, thank you so much.
I love that. It takes me to that song, There's Nothing Wrong with the World. It's the people that's in it. That was just awesome. I'd like to just ask you now, Mrs. Palmer, could you please just share our sentiments? I know you let everybody know how we're feeling about that panel discussion a while ago.
Good morning, everyone. A happy customer service week. I saw so many questions in the chat, and I know that persons even have more questions that they love our expert panelists, luminaries, as Professor Waller called them. And it was such a time of rich discussion and information. I want to give a thank you this morning in our public sector forum to our panelists. However, just a few key takeaways. You know, Professor Waller shared in his opening remarks about how achieving service excellence is a litmus test en route to national governance. Also, one of our panelists made a distinction between digitization and digitalization. Also, how we can be better prepared for digital service delivery. Our other presenter also made it clear about the importance of delivering service against established standards. It was so good. It was chock full of information. Of course, emphasis was on the Data Protection Act and regime and the importance of having a data protection officer. Also, the respect for human rights. So much was said about that, the right to be informed, the right to have access, and the right to make complaints. Also about accountability and committed leadership, which are all tenets of service excellence. And one of the things that jumped at me was the importance of the culture in creating service excellence in a digital world. This was such a wonderful start to our public sector forum. And if you haven't tapped somebody to come on board yet, please do, because this promises to be an exciting beginning. We have another panel discussion coming up. I want to thank wholeheartedly Ms. Andree Holness, Director of Complaints Resolution and Compliance in the Office of the Information Commissioner, Ms. Sophia Ann Wellington, the Principal Director for the Information Division in the Office of the Prime Minister. Last and certainly by no means least, our moderator, Professor Lloyd Waller, who so ably guided the discussions. He's a professor of digital transformation policy and governance at the University of the West Indies and the executive director of the Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management Center. Once again, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Palmer. And again, I just want to add my thanks. Thank you so much to that esteemed panel for all of the things that you just discussed and for enlightening us in such an amazing way. I can't even go any further. Althea, where are you? I just want to say.
I'm right here.
How was that?
I tell you that I continue to be just amazed at the work that is done by JAXA in pulling all of this together. And this year, this partnership with the Cabinet Office, the modernization unit has been absolutely phenomenal. By the way, we need to point out that Professor Waller is in it for the long haul because he has duties with the other panel discussion that comes up a little bit later on after the break. But the information is absolutely amazing. And what is clear,
no better person than him.
Yeah. People are interested in getting information. And so I'm very happy that we're using this platform to share the information with them. And speaking of information, you have to introduce someone else who is going to share more information.
I'm going to introduce, but before I do, Althea, and you know, I want us to do a little tag team on our sponsors, because on top of the fact that we have these amazing panelists, if we did not get the sponsorship that we have gotten from these amazing entities, we would not have been here. So, Office of the Cabinet, Public Sector Modernization Division, big ups to you.
The RGR Communications Group, and of course, they're also a platinum partner.
Of course, I have the Jamaica Cultural Division Commission, the JCDC, Everybody Dance a Liquor Festival, right?
I'm a festival baby. I understand what you mean. I entered festival in almost every discipline except art and cooking. The Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, PSOJ.
And of course, Rhythm FM.
We have CARICO, the training arm of JAXA.
And TEF, the people who hold the brand Jamaica so dear and continue to get the rich and famous in here.
All right, the Tourism Enhancement Fund there. And of course, the Jamaica Public Service Company Limited.
NCB.
All right. We have the Administrator General's Department.
National Housing Trust. I bought my first house from them. Yes, at Eltham View. Good people.
There we go. And so many of our people are getting to own houses through the National Housing Trust. VM Group.
Of course. What about Heart? NSTA. They are amazing human people, the trust.
Yes, awesome organization. We have the JMMB Group.
Yes, Red Strong. And then we have Guardian General Insurance Limited.
We have Ashebre, the virtual restaurant.
Yummy. Mwah. We have National Health Fund, the NHF, continuing to help our people.
We have Guardian Life Jamaica.
And then the Jamaica National Group Limited, another stalwart company in our society.
Absolutely. Grace Kennedy Limited.
Love me some Grace. And Bert's Auto Parts Limited. Yes. Check Bert's.
What an awesome set of sponsors we have. And of course, we don't get to do this without sponsorship. And so we really have to say a big thank you to them all for the part that they have played in helping to make this all possible.
Yes, of course. You know what now, Althea?
Yes, man. More excitement.
Althea,
for excitement, right?
I hope you drank some water. I hope you calmed your nerves. I hope you're in a good vibe. I hope people all around are giving amazing customer service. I hope everybody's just soaking up all of what's going on, because coming up here, Althea, we have to understand that this government has made a decision to modernize the way we do business. And I love what was said earlier by the great doctor. She said the way the people interact with their government. I love that. Modernizing that way. And for this particular month, they have decided not to celebrate a week, but to have an entire service excellence month in the office of the Prime Minister.
That is how important it is.
Oh my God.
Not a week, an entire month.
The entire month. And they are having a push so that whenever you do business with the government, any government entity, service excellence is going to be the way to do business. And tying into what we're talking about here, the modernization of that, Althea, that's what's happening. Because coming up, we are going to have Tanika Callum. And she is actually the modernization program integration integrator rather, in the public sector modernization division in the office of the cabinet. And they have this theme out there of service excellence. It's called team service, engaging, empowering, and serving our public with excellence. That nice?
It nice, bad.
Nice,
and
bad.
let me tell you something. You see, when Tanika is finished, we're not going to tell her to leave, you know, because we have some giveaways that we want her to be a part of.
Yes.
As well.
That's amazing, because she's going to come on now and she's going to tell us about that month of activities. She's going to talk about their church service, their front of office competition, their quiz, and they're having an inaugural award. But I'll let her talk about it. Let's let her talk about it. Is she there? Did you see her?
I am right here, Althea and Norma. So good to see you both. This has just been an amazing week going on right here as we celebrate National Customer Service Week. Of course, this couldn't happen without you guys, and you have been doing a fabulous job. So we are here, the Office of the Cabinet, Public Sector Modernization Division, and we are hosting, you said it right, an entire month celebrating service excellence. As you know, it was launched last year by our Prime Minister, and we have been running with it. And we are so excited about this program of activities that we have lined up for the month. And so we got started, of course, on Sunday with National Customer Service Week church service in celebration with you, our partners at JAXA, the church service on Sunday at Webster. We continue today, yesterday and today, with this conference. And this conference, as CTD Johnson launched this morning, is the start of our series of Wednesday webinars. So every Wednesday, we're having a similar kind of forum as we're doing today, but this is the big one to get things started. So next Wednesday, we continue and we're going into different spaces, different parishes with our Wednesday hybrid webinars, we've termed them. So next Wednesday, we go to Savannah Lamar, as CTD would have said earlier. And the following Wednesday, the 18th, we go to Mandeville. And then we culminate, you said it earlier, Norma and Althea, we culminate with our inaugural Service Excellence Conference and Awards Ceremony. And this here, we will be awarding members of the public sector organizations within the public sector who have just excelled. They have taken the mantra of service excellence and they are doing so well. They're digitizing, they're updating their websites, making it friendly. You know, the modernization component is just evident throughout their culture. So we have a competition going on right now for right across the public sector. There is a service excellence competition, and of course, entries close, submissions close on the 6th. That's this Friday. Entries close. Also, we have the front office decor competition where we're encouraging persons. Decorate your front office for the entire month of October with our theme, team service, engaging, empowering, and serving our public. So we continue through the month with the competitions closing on the 6th, and at the award ceremony, those persons, those entities that are winners will be awarded at the Service Excellence Conference and Awards on the 25th. And of course, this is a hybrid session. So it will be both on Zoom and also it will be in person. We continue through beyond our Service Excellence Awards and competitions. I spoke about our hybrid Wednesday webinars each and every Wednesday in October. And then we continue through with our Fridays. Now, Fridays are amazing in the public sector. For each Friday in the month of October, we are taking our clients, our persons, our customers through, and we're sharing with them all that we do as it relates to service excellence. So we have quizzes and we're engaging all the staff around the service excellence. This is an exciting time for us. And everything culminates on Friday, the 27th of October, with our GOJ Mobile Services Fair. Now, listen, this is just the most exciting activity. Our entire public sector is gearing up to go to Monique St. Anne on the 27th for this mobile services fair. We have free healthcare, free health checks going on. We have the Passports and Immigration and Citizenship Agency coming on board to render their services. We have the Tax Administration Jamaica on board to render services. We also have on board a key partner, the Registrar General's Department, that is with us every step of the way. Every Wednesday, they are giving us their locations, their venue for us to host these hybrid webinars, and they are back again with us on the 27th for the Mobile Services Fair. So we encourage everybody, support us, come out, join us, go to the Cabinet Office website, find out more about it, and of course, all our partners and agencies that would have been spoken about earlier today. So we look forward to everybody joining us for this month, this Service Excellence Month 2023. So we're looking forward to seeing you there.
Tanika, listen, big ups.
I don't know how you managed to get so much information in.
Big ups. Because what you just told us is just a definition of service excellence. I just love what's going to happen on the 20th. No, you actually went beyond the month, by the way. I mean, didn't you? It sounded so much. I don't know.
It sounded that way, right?
Oh my God.
You're wondering how they're going to fit so much activity into 1 month.
In 1 month. Yeah. Amazing stuff. Well, you know, back to this, you have some questions that I think Althea and I were going to ask some questions.
Yeah, man, we're going to do team tag, but we don't want to go anywhere, Tanika. Let us first of all ask, what kinds of prizes are you prepared to give away to the people who answer these questions? What prizes do you have for us today?
Oh, we have some lovely prizes. I don't know if you have them to share out there. We have a mobile data bank, a power charger. So, of course, you know, we're talking technology. We're always on the move. So, of course, sometimes our devices run a little bit low. And so there are these power chargers. We have to stay active. We have to stay connected. And so we have these devices that will be giving away to persons who answer correctly. And we also have a fabulous journal, because while we're staying on top of technology, some of us still make our little manual notes here and there. So it's absolutely fabulous. You won't want to not get one of our prizes. I promise you.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Are you ready, Althea?
All right. So now how are we going to do this?
Okay, so let me tell you what. Well, first of all, I need some energy in the chat, because with all of this excitement, I need GOJ in the chat. I just need GOJ. Type GOJ if you're ready for us to ask those questions. And if you're ready to win the prizes, I need you to put your smart thinking caps on. I need you to remember what you just heard, right? Because we're going to ask
the questions are so easy. No,
They are?
They're easy like cheesy. I don't know. Tanika just wants to give stuff away.
GOJ, let's see GOJ. Let's see GOJ.
Keep the energy going.
Let's see GOJ. Okay.
All right, so let me just ask GOJ. Are you seeing those GOJs?
A whole lot. All
right, so first question, and this is so easy. It is so easy. What is the definition of service excellence?
Okay,
what is the definition of service excellence?
All right, I'm looking for the answer in the chat, guys.
Yes, man, they have to answer in the chat to win one of those fabulous prizes that Tanika has spoken about. Tanika, how are you planning to engage the members of the public as you go through all of these activities? Because clearly it is about knowledge sharing, it's about information sharing, and getting the public engaged is part of the process as well.
Right, absolutely. So there are different activities taking place. So for example, today, right now, we are having, the RGDs having their Customer Appreciation Day. So right on their location, we're making sure that we're engaging, and there's a team of us already on location engaging with the public there. We have our radio programs going on, and of course we get feedback from those through the social media, not just from the Cabinet Office, but of all our ministries, departments, and agencies. We're engaging and we're on the ground. Each of our ministries, departments, and agencies are encouraged to have their own customer service day where they open up and just hear from the public, so that those information received can help to inform host services are improved. So we are engaging because that's a part of what we do for service excellence.
All right, guys. Okay. Well, first of all, I need to address Dr. Jaja.
I see Norma holding up her finger, like a school picnic. Me miss. Go ahead, Norma.
Dr. Jaja wanted to know if she was eligible. Did you hear that? Dr. Jaja wants to know if she was eligible. All right. So that was
Dr. Jaja, no.
All right. So
that's what we call insider trading.
Let me tell you what's happening here. Chanel says to provide all 7 elements of customer service. Beverly says customer service of the highest standard. Carolee says providing professional, great communication, trust, empathy. Mitzi, as service providers, it's our ability to meet and exceed the customer's expectations. Latoya says that's a good one, right? Latoya says
that is I think that encapsulates everything. I think that's the one.
Meet and exceed.
That is the winning answer.
I think we can take that one.
You think we should take Mitzi?
Read that one again.
I think so too. Mitzi
Harris,
Dillon, you have been the first person to give us the closest to amazing answer. As service providers, it is our ability to meet and exceed our customers' expectations. Now, in the chat, I need to see some applause for Mitzi Harris Dillon before we move to the next question.
And by the way, just to let them know, Norma, how close that answer was. The answer that we had was the delivery of services against established standards in a manner that effectively satisfies customers' needs and provides value for our citizens. Said the same way.
I just love how she exceeded.
It's just a little different. Just a shade of difference. Yes. So absolutely fantastic answer.
Yes.
All right, so we do have more giveaways.
Congratulations to Mitzi.
Yes.
Congratulations, Mitzi. All right, the answer.
Great job.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. The answers were coming in after that. Clap her.
It's all right. Tell them we have more questions. Tell them to hold on. We have more questions. We have more questions.
Guys.
Yes.
Althea, are you ready?
Are we ready again? Are we ready again? I have another question. When was the SE policy approved, the service excellence policy approved? When was it approved? The year and the month. See, we're not even, we're making it easy. We're not going to go with the day. We just want the year,
month,
and the month. That should be pretty easy.
Just the year and the month.
Yeah.
Just the year and the month. Just the year and the month. That's all we're asking for.
I'm monitoring the chat for the answer.
What are you seeing?
I'm not seeing anything yet.
All right. Should we just throw in the other question as well, Tanika?
Sure.
All right. So let me just put in the other question because we have lots to give.
Oops.
We don't want people to leave empty-handed. In what? All right.
Althea?
Yes, ma'am.
I have. Oops. Let me run.
You have an answer.
They're going so fast. Hold on. I have Carol. Hold on. Carol Lee, March 2022.
Woo! We have a winner.
He's the first person to give us.
It was approved in March. It was approved in March.
Right.
It was approved in March.
Response. Right. Approved. So we have a winner.
SE policy approved. All right. So
Carol Lee. So you're gonna write that down.
But then we have a follow-up question to that. In what month and year was it actually launched?
Okay.
So let us see if we can get somebody else winning that. In what month and year was the policy launched?
So we now need launch.
Yes.
So launch.
So Carol,
if you know the answer for the first one, you should know the answer for the second question too. They're closely related. They're like cousins.
Close. Yeah, they're close.
Yeah, they're like, and they're not even like second cousins, they're like first cousins.
Yes, really close, really close. Just a few months down the road.
Winner alert. Winner alert. Andreen. Hold on. They're going so fast. Oh my God. Okay, there we go. Andreen Paul. First correct answer from Andreen. A whole lot of correct answer all the way down. But the first one came from Andreen Paul, July 2022.
That is correct.
That is
absolutely correct.
Can we get some applause?
They're doing very well. This is what happens, when you get people excited. We're going to give them a break in just a bit, But I have another one. Name the 2 pillars of the service excellence policy. The 2 pillars of the service excellence policy. Boy, Tanika, who came up with these easy questions?
Boy, I tell you, we're just generous. We're just generous and wanting to give things away.
2 pillars of the service excellence policy.
Come on, people. Come on. I'm waiting on you now. Come on.
Lots of excitement. We love giveaways, You see how the answers are rolling in?
I'm still getting claps.
All right.
For
and while we're doing that, I think I see Danny telling us that she can show us what the prizes look like. Go ahead, Danny, so that people know what they're going to win, so they just keep those answers coming. Absolutely fantastic. And so, those are gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Sweet. I would want to win one of those, but I don't qualify.
You don't qualify.
Norma, you don't qualify. Tanika, you don't qualify.
Hey guys, I got a winner.
You don't qualify.
Hold on.
You have a winner.
Hold on. I have a winner. I have a winner. Janelle Rodriguez says people engagement and performance excellence. People engagement.
That is awesome. But we have some brilliant people on with us. That is awesome. People. Tanika, I'm kind of trying to figure out now if the next one I should couple them. I should just ask one person to answer them. In pursuit of service excellence.
I yield to you and Norma. I yield to you both.
In pursuit of service excellence, what does the acronym SIP refer to? SIP. Doesn't have to do with any drinking. What does the acronym SIP refer to?
Guys, I'm rooting for you. Come on. I'm rooting. Oh my God, they're going at it, boy. They're going. They're going.
Man.
They're going at it. Remember now, SIP.
And guess what we're going to ask them to do next after they have sipped? So I soon tell you. Do we have a winner for that one?
Not yet.
All right. So let me throw in the other one. In pursuit of service excellence, what does the acronym SIT refer to? SIT.
So you have SIP and you have SIT.
And
yes, there we go.
And SIT.
Okay, I think I have a winner.
Wonderful.
I think I have a winner. Do I have a winner? I do. It is Meiji Lee Solas. And she says, service improvement plan.
Yes.
That's the first part of the question. Service improvement plan. Oh, they're going fast. I have my able assistant Dwayne here is helping me run the chat. It's going really quickly.
Yes.
All right, you saw anybody else, Dwayne? And
all right. So should we separate them then?
Yeah.
Generous today.
I think
let's separate
should.
them.
I think we should.
All right. So
and
that
then,
answer was correct.
And then I'm looking for sit now. Okay. Are you seeing sit, Dwayne?
Just remind us who.
Yes, I saw sit. I saw sit. Tanya Heron says service improvement team. Tanya!
Wonderful, wonderful. So that's Tanya Heron for service improvement team. And who is it that won service improvement plan?
Meiji Lee Solas.
You see, Tanika.
Wait.
Right, people, brilliant people paying attention.
All right, so let us go again. Oh boy, I tell you, these are so easy because first of all, the answers were in Tanika's presentation. When will the government mobile services fair be held and in what parish? When will the government mobile services fair be held and in what parish?
Oh, hang on, guys. I think we called out before we go there. In fairness, we called out who you saw first, Dwayne? I'm so sorry, but in fairness, I'm gonna have to take it back from Midgie. Midgie, I'm sorry, hon. Let's go again, Midgie. I'm gonna root for you again, but it's actually Sabrina.
We'll give the first one. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. We're generous.
Give her 1, 2. Okay, all right, good.
Yes,
Sabrina, you are the winner, my love.
This is not Miss Universe. We love to give away stuff here.
We're giving away. We're giving away. Sabrina, you want it, my love.
Yes,
okay. So
when was the government mobile service there? All of these brilliant people. All right. So do we have an answer for the one that I just asked? When will the government mobile services fair be held and in what parish? People, we can only do this for another 2 minutes because you need to take that break.
Time, right? Is it Suzanne? Is the first person? Susan Roden Smith says the 27th of what day is the 27th?
We never asked them for the day.
I'm just asking for myself because I want to go.
We didn't ask them for the day, but we did ask for the parish.
It is. She did say it's in Monique. She's actually telling me exactly what to put in my GPS.
She's very specific in terms of the area in St. Anne.
In St. Anne.
She actually said the October 27th in Monique. So I know what to put in my GPS. I'm gonna check the day so I know when.
Make sure you get your St. Anne, Monique St. Anne. That's right.
We have just 2 more questions to go. Let us see if we can squeeze them in quickly. Which division within the Office of the Cabinet has responsibility for service excellence program implementation? Why, Tanika, if these questions were any easier, which division within the Office of the Cabinet has responsibility for the service excellence program implementation? This is the easiest question to end all easy questions. So wait, Norma, you don't have an answer yet?
Not yet.
Wow. All right. So while we wait for that one, this is the final question in the set. And I don't even know why we're asking this question. Name the organization.
Wait, hold on. Did we get an answer before
name the organization that coordinates the National Customer Service Week activities in collaboration with the Office of the Cabinet. The organization that coordinates National Customer Service Week activities in collaboration with the Office of the Cabinet. Everybody on this chat should get this right.
Everybody.
But you only have one prize. So it is
one prize.
So guide me, guys.
One prize, first answer.
Guide me. All right. So I'm getting the modernization unit. I'm getting the Office of the Cabinet. And I'm getting the PSTMD. I'm getting Public Sector Modernization Division.
Oh, yes, we have a winner. We'll take that.
The correct
I think it's Janelle Rodriguez, right?
Yes.
The Public Sector Modernization Division. Yes.
And of course, the last question that we have, you must have an answer for that one.
Yeah. Rodriguez. Let me see the one you just asked.
Yes, it was so easy. Name the organization that coordinates the National Customer Service Week activities in collaboration with the Office of the Cabinet.
Oh my gosh.
I'm telling you, everybody should
win
that prize.
You got there, Dwayne. Did you get the same person I got? I saw, is it Tanika James? Yeah, Tanika James. Tanika James says Jackson.
That is amazing. So we answered all the questions. Boy, what a wonderful group we have with us today. Tanika, I know that you're very pleased.
Yes. Very pleased.
Lots of activities to come over the course of the month. And of course, Norma, you have locked in the information so that you can put it into your GPS so you can make your way over to Monique St. Anne on the 27th of October.
It's in my GPS, the 27th of October, Monique St. Anne. I'll be there.
All right, there we go. Thank you so very much, Tanika Callum.
Thank you for having me. Looking forward to seeing everybody participating in Service Excellence Month. Thank you so much.
What a pleasure. All right, so what we're going to do is, do we have a spin the wheel or do we go for a video? Let's just go for a video.
I'm still on a high from the excitement.
Yes, man. That is a lot of excitement. You can drink a little water. Let us cool ourselves down while we get this video in. Let's go.
To give you the quality and service you deserve, and you deserve it. That's why service excellence is the aim. We take it serious, I don't care. To pay off convenience, alternative services when you are dealing with government entities. So that's we are work on. We benefit businesses and Jamaicans. Better systems and services for a better Jamaica.
The Service Excellence Program is an initiative of the Office of the Cabinet in partnership with the ministries, departments, and agencies.
Government and public sector, making the systems better to give you the quality and service you deserve, and you deserve it. That's why service excellence is the aim. We take it serious, I don't care. To pay off convenience, alternative services when you are dealing with government entities. That's we are work on. We benefit businesses and Jamaicans. Better systems and services for a better Jamaica.
The Service Excellence Program is an initiative of the Office of the Cabinet in partnership with the ministries, departments, and agencies.
Wow. I tell you, you can see, Norma, that there's a lot of work going into trying to ensure that the government agencies, they all move towards that common goal of service excellence. It is absolutely amazing.
It makes life so much easier out there. I can just imagine that our lives paying taxes, getting our property, car organized, things like that. Whatever business we have to do with the government will become so much easier. Our access to information, our own personal record keeping and so on would be so much easier with the modernization of all of the government entities. It is just something amazing to look forward to.
And what is very good is that the public is very accepting of the moves that are being made. And so they're being supportive. And if the public is supportive, then of course that guarantees the success of the program. So that is very, very important.
Yeah, you know what? I just had to jump in a while ago to say what struck me as something super amazing is the fact that they have tied in with us for customer service as a government entity. Usually that never happens.
Yes.
You know, and to see that that is so important is really an amazing, amazing thing.
It tells a story of how they view the importance of service excellence generally and of ensuring that they're training their staff and that they're moving in the right direction. I hear though that even though we gave away so many things a while ago, before we go to the break, we are going to spin the wheel. What do you have to give away? Tell me before I ask for the spin. Tell me.
You know what? I feel like I want to give away something from Ashebre, the virtual restaurant, darling.
And these are sweet.
The
if
virtual.
You're like Norma, you're going to enjoy this.
The virtual restaurant, darling. That's what I want to do.
I tell you. All right, so Danny, are we ready to spin that wheel? Yes, we are. Let's get away and we're going to give away the prize too. Yes. Boy, your bags are full heading to this break. Ramona De Mercado. Congratulations, Ramona. First of all, is Ramona still with us?
Are you here, Ramona? Type in the chat. Let's see if you're here.
I want to make sure.
Ramona, if you're not here, somebody else is getting that amazing prize from Ashebre, the virtual restaurant, the product package. Am I seeing? No, I'm not seeing. Ramona, please answer. Ramona, please answer me. You know
exactly. When your name is called, please answer.
Please to answer.
Right, so what we're waiting to hear if Ramona is with us, let us just highlight the fact that after we come back from the break, it's going to be a very brief break, 5 minutes. We're going to move into our second panel discussion, building and ICT capabilities, building ICT capabilities for service excellence. Again, the moderator will be Professor Lloyd Waller. He will require no further introduction. We have panelists, we have other panelists, and he will introduce the panelists. And then later on, we are going to, of course, be hearing from the president of JAXA, but that is much later on, much later on in the program. We have lots of activities to get through before we get out of here. So is Ramona there?
No.
Norma, have you found out?
Oh, no, Ramona has not.
All right, so I guess that means we're going to have to spin that wheel again. Let's go, Danny.
Spin, guys. Spin. Surprise from a chef. Right. I love the name.
You call
Lolian Barnett. Lolian.
Wonderful. So I hope Lolian is here.
Lolian.
Lolian, please answer when your name is called so that we can make sure you're here. Calling Lolian.
Lolian once.
Lolian twice. To give away this place. No,
Lolian is not answering us, my love.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. So let us, Danny, let us spin again. Kimal Barrett Prehey. Kimal Barrett Prehey. Is Kimal here? Let us check.
Kimal.
Calling Kimal. Calling Kimal. Boy, we're really working hard to give away this prize, though.
I cannot believe it. But you know that, look here, this is a Shebre. Now, let me tell you, this is a world-renowned chef.
Absolutely is.
You know, I mean, like, people would just die to get this prize. Kimal, where are you, my love? Where are you?
And Norma, you are not in the running. You're not in the running at all. I'm so sorry for you. I'm so sorry. You're not going to be able to win this one.
Did you see my 30-degree head hang?
Yes, I see it, Norma. I see it. So, do we have Kimal? Any response?
No, Kimal.
All right, we're going to do this one final time before we take that break. If we don't get someone this time, we just take the break, and then perhaps at some other point in time, we try to give away that prize again. So one final spin, Danny. One final spin ahead of the break. Spin.
The person is going to be here. Yo, listen. Bowen Gulab. Yulissa Bowen Gulab.
Yulissa, if you're not here, I'm afraid I will have to give the prize to Norma.
Yes, don't let my head hang. Yulissa, where are you? Yulissa, where are you?
My goodness. No, Yulissa.
No, Yulissa yet? Are we seeing Yulissa?
All right. Well, what we're going to do.
I'm here. Yulissa says I'm here. Yulissa says I'm here.
Norma, I am so sorry, my love. I was prepared to give it to you. But you called it right. Yulissa is there.
Yulissa, I'm happy for you. I mean, you know, I love a Shebre, but I'm happy for you, my dear. You will enjoy a product package from a Shebre, the virtual restaurant. So congratulations. Can we get some claps for Yulissa? Congratulations.
Absolutely fantastic. Of course, Norma, we're heading for a break. It's only going to be 5 minutes. When we come back from that break, we're going to head into the panel discussion. We've had a lot of fun in this session, haven't we? Lots of information to come. We want to encourage the participants to head into the expo. And Norma, just remind us who are some of the exhibitors that we're likely to see in that exhibition area. Networking is critical, so we want to encourage them to go into the room during the break. But remember, it's just 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now that we've learned so much, it's really very important, as you said, Althea, for them to get in there, network, see all the sponsors. Please visit the following booths: the Office of the Cabinet Public Sector Modernization Division. Please go and see the Jamaica Public Service Company Limited's booth, the VM Group's booth, Heart Trust and Heart NSTA's booth, the JMB Group booth. And of course, Yalissa, you have to go to the Ashebre, the virtual restaurant booth, and just mingle, virtually. That's the beauty of it. Virtually mingle, get to see these booths, do some networking, meet some people, make some connections.
All right. Thank you so very much, Norma. And we are going to take a little bit of a break. We only have time to sip a little water here, and then we'll be back in 5 minutes as we prepare ourselves for the next panel discussion that comes up right after this break.
Welcome to Get the Facts, the program that provides you with information on government's policies and initiatives. I'm Theodore Henry. Delivering an efficient and excellent customer service has been a key priority of the government. To this end, several measures have taken place to ensure improvement in this area. And today's program will share some of those measures and tell you about activities to mark National Customer Service Week. My guest is Senior Director of the Public Sector Modernization Division in the Office of the Cabinet, Daniel Jones-Cox. Welcome to the program, Mrs. Jones-Cox.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, let's get some facts now.
Right.
Remind us how important good customer service is to public sector modernization, because it doesn't sound like it's just about the service.
No, it's in fact far more than that. One of the things that we say in the Public Sector Modernization Division is that the entire raison d'etre, the reason that the public sector exists, is to serve the public.
Right.
The services that the public sector offers cannot be had anywhere else. And so the public, foreign investors really don't have a choice. They must interface with us. And so it's incumbent on us to provide the best services that we can.
All right, so people should like interacting with government services.
Yes, although we've gotten mixed reviews about government service, and certainly that is why we decided to implement a service excellence policy. So that is our framework that guides all of us as public sector workers and public sector entities on how best to deliver services to our customers.
Ah, understood. So tell me a little bit about the Public Sector Modernization Division and the association. How do I understand both of those things, and how do they work together?
So the Public Sector Modernization Division is a department or a division within the Office of the Cabinet, and our primary focus is on supporting our government partners to actually modernize their service delivery offerings.
Right.
So we work to serve our public sector partners. We don't necessarily serve the public directly, but we support our public sector partners. And the Jamaica Customer Service Association is our quote-unquote private sector partner as it relates to service excellence and customer service. And this year is our second year partnering to deliver National Customer Service Week.
Ah, okay. So how do the two things come together? You have equal, I'm trying to pull it out here. Is there like a policy that guides both of them? So you both agree on what the vision is going forward for customer service in Jamaica?
Absolutely, and it's not just us, because the Jamaica Customer Service Association has many members, a lot of private sector members, and so we work on the public sector side to bring the public sector together, and JAXA works to bring the private sector together. And what we have is a memorandum of understanding. So it pretty much talks about how we intend to work together to shape the customer service or the service excellence atmosphere nationally. So on the public sector side and the private sector side through JAXA.
All right. So everybody is getting good customer service.
That's right.
All right. So I want to hear about some of the steps and the measures that have been taken thus far. You know, ministries, departments, agencies. Right. Could you share some of those?
Absolutely. So we started in 2019, the Public Sector Modernization Division received approval from Cabinet for the Service Excellence Framework. And that framework provided almost kind of like what we call the blueprint for how service improvement was going to happen from entity to entity. One of the key things that we have done as a Public Sector Modernization Division is to share with our public sector partners, this is how we're going to standardize service delivery. So it shouldn't be that I go to a PICA, for example, and receive a particular type of service that I'm satisfied with, but then I go to another entity and I don't have a similar service.
Disconnect.
That's exactly right. So that's one of the things that we are working on to fix. And so what the service excellence policy has done is really kind of just outlined all of those areas. One of the key things that ministries, departments, and agencies are doing now, Theodore, is service improvement planning. So every single solitary ministry, along with their departments and agencies, has a plan for service improvement. We did the survey. We identified where the gaps in service delivery are from entity to entity, and this plan has now designed those mechanisms to plug those gaps, and that's one of the core things that we're focused on right now.
So overall policy,
right,
and then agency, ministry by ministry.
That's correct. That's correct.